Devin Haney is one of the few fighters left who remind us of the legendary boxers of old. Those legendary boxers who didn't care about their record, boxers who didn't impose rehydration restrictions and accepted to fight anyone regardless of whether accepting that fight represented a great risk of defeat. Devin Haney is one of the few fighters left similar to that, but people don't appreciate him. Devin Haney is a true throwback fighter, but at the same time, he's one of the most hated and criticized fighters of today, and I don't understand why. Boxing fans constantly complain and say that the best boxers of our generation don't fight each other because they're obsessed with maintaining an undefeated professional record. So I don't understand why the same fans criticize Devin Haney, who is the complete opposite of what they criticize. Devin Haney literally doesn't do tune-up fights. Haney's been taking tough fight after tough fight since he was 23 years old and became the undisputed champion. Devin Haney, at a very young age, dared to cross the street to become a legendary boxer. In 2022, Haney left Matchroom, which was the company he had been managing since 2019, to go to Top Rank and thus be able to get a chance to become world champion by fighting George Kambosos in Australia. The boxers who are capable of doing that today can be counted on one hand. Most are not willing to risk themselves in that way. And if that wasn't enough, Devin Haney in that fight against Kambosos accepted a purse split of $78-22. In that fight, George Kambosos earned approximately $10 million, while Devin Haney barely earned a little less than $3 million. This considering that Devin Haney was a much more famous fighter than Kambosos and deserved a better payday. Devin Haney left his promoter to accept a fight for little money and fighting as a visitor on the other side of the world. No other lightweight of this generation is capable of even doing something similar. Shakur Stevenson rejected a fight against Haney because he was offered little money. Gervonta Davis has not even done a title unification fight in his entire career. The only lightweight that even remotely resembles what Devin Haney does is Teofimo Lopez, and even then, he is still far away. Then Devin Haney accepted a fight against Vasyl Lomachenko, who's one of the best lightweights in boxing history. And I know that fight is surrounded by a lot of controversy, because it was a very close fight that Haney won, but a lot of people saw Lomachenko win and say it was a robbery. But that victory of Haney should not be disregarded by the fans. Saying that the fight was a robbery does not make sense. A close fight cannot be considered a robbery because your favorite boxer didn't win. In my opinion, Devin Haney won that fight fair and square. Lomachenko is a guy who has a nice fighting style and has a ton of fans, but those fans have to understand Devin Haney landed very clean punches to the body of Lomachenko throughout the fight, and the body shots also count points. Plus, Devin Haney was more effective than Lomachenko. But anyways, it's not crazy to think that Lomachenko won that fight, which is crazy to think that it was a robbery.
It's hard to say that it was a robbery. The reason being, Dev took a lot of the early rounds. Lomachenko was still trying to get himself together, trying to figure out what he wanted to do. Another thing is, people say he won, right? When Lomachenko win, you see a lot of circus tricks, you see a lot of he be having fun in there. He wasn't having fun, he was rumbling. Yeah, it was a real rumble.
Immediately in his next fight, Devin Haney moved up to super lightweight division to try to become the world champion in 2 different weight divisions. And the best thing is that Devin didn't move up a weight division to fight the weaker champion. Haney moved up a weight division to fight Regis Prograis, who was the second best fighter in that weight division, and Devin Haney just beat him up and easily won that fight. And finally, Devin Haney's ambition to become a legendary boxer led him to accept a fight against Ryan Garcia, a fight which became a real nightmare for Haney, since that is the fight that people use to belittle and ridicule Devin Haney. In that fight, Devin Haney took a beating, but he showed that he's a boxer who has heart by surviving the 12 rounds. But people don't care about that. In that fight, Ryan Garcia was doped and arrived more than 3 pounds overweight in the weigh-in. We all know how that fight ended. Ryan Garcia was suspended from boxing for a year, and Haney's loss was reverted to a no contest.
And fuck it, bro. I cheated, and it is what it is, bro. I took the ostrich or whatever it was, bro, and, you know, steroids taste good, so I was just very hungry that day, and it is what it is.
It's sad that that fight stained Devin Haney's career and will massively increase the hate of people on social media towards Devin, who's a boxer who is barely 25 years old and still has a lot to offer boxing, regardless of what happened in the past. One loss does not mean that a boxer's career is over. Devin Haney still has a lot of potential and can beat most boxers of his class. Losses are just learning experiences, and in this case, Haney was a loss with an asterisk because he was fighting a guy who was cheating. Regardless of what happened, I hope Devin Haney remains true to his ideals and continues to be a throwback fighter like those who are no longer left. I hope Devin Haney continues to accept fighting against the best boxers and does not become a cherry picker.